Elsa clutched her legs and saw blood leaking from her fingers. She knew Charlie hadn't lied to her. However, asking her to take off her pants in front of a strange man, she struggled incomparably. In the face of life and death, Elsa hesitated for a while and finally compromised. She didn't want to die, let alone become disabled. Elsa's face was flushed. She raised her head and glanced at Charlie. Her heart thumped and her whole body was strange. Finally, she said softly, "I see, thank you." Charlie nodded, knelt down, and grabbed her trousers with both hands and tore it forcefully. Elsa suffocated her breath. Her pretty face was so hot, her heart beat faster. She didn't dare to look at Charlie when she lowered her head. Charlie's eyes were calm. He saw the knife wound on her left leg, put his 2 fingers together, and pointed at the acupuncture points. A hint of spiritual energy dipped into the injury from his finger. Charlie's eyes were always staring at the wound, and he didn't even glance at any other place. He gestured like flying, and after a few fingers went down, the blood in the wound gradually stopped. According to the medical techniques on the 9 profound heaven scriptures, he was able to completely heal Elsa's injuries, regenerate her tendons, and even recover the wounds on the spot, but Charlie didn't want to shock her. He just used fingers as acupuncture to help Elsa stop the bleeding. Her muscles and veins healed, and then she stopped. She only needs to bandage the remaining skin wounds in the hospital and she can be discharged from the hospital and heal herself. Elsa's heart slammed into confusion, feeling that after Charlie tapped a few fingers, the pain was relieved and the blood stopped. She was shocked. Unexpectedly, the traditional medicine that her family considers useless is more useful than Western medicine. "Okay," Charlie said lightly, stood up without squinting. "You stand up and try." Elsa tried to stand up. Her leg had stopped bleeding. She was surprised and happy. She blushed and raised her head, and said shyly, "Since you don't want to be named, give me a chance to thank you?" "No," Charlie said coldly. He didn't want to expose his identity. "You saved me. If I can't even thank you, I will be ashamed all my life," Elsa said stubbornly, and then took off a necklace from her neck. "This is my coming-of-age ceremony. Grandpa gave me a gift. You saved my life and I want to give it to you." What she held in her hand was a platinum chain with a crystal-clear pink diamond inlaid on the pendant. Charlie wanted to refuse, but he felt a faint aura on the pink diamond. He took it over with a turn of his mind. He nodded, took off his jacket, tied it around her waist, and said, "Excuse me, I tore your pants. You can wrap my clothes around. I just used your phone to call. I got the emergency number of the nearby hospital. The ambulance will arrive in about a few minutes. You are safe. I have something to do. We'll leave now." After speaking, Charlie turned around without looking back and disappeared into the dense sorghum field as soon as his figure shook. "Hey, wait," Elsa yelled, and Charlie had already been lost in front of her eyes. Outside the park at this time, the sound of the ambulance was heard. She looked down at the jacket surrounding her body, and then at the direction in which Charlie disappeared, feeling lost. In the next second, she suddenly felt that the back when the other party left was so familiar. Elsa recalled for a while, and suddenly remembered that this back figure is exactly the same as the chairman. Is it the chairman of the M Grand Group? Elsa was moved. But she didn't ask the other party's name, nor did she see the other party's appearance, and she doesn't know if the guess is true? At this moment, Elsa suddenly discovered that a gray pebble had fallen from the place where Charlie had just squatted. The words, "Peace and Wealth," were still written on the stone. This stone accidentally fell out, right? Elsa immediately grasped it like a treasure. If she never sees him again, then this stone is the only token he left to her. After Elsa was taken to the hospital by ambulance, her injuries were not serious after diagnosis. The doctor who treated didn't know that she had undergone Charlie's initial treatment, and was extremely surprised at her injury. Judging from the stab wound on her leg, it can be seen that the tendon is ruptured and damaged. But for Elsa's skin and flesh injuries, the tendons and veins inside were intact, as if they had been reconnected. The veins and tendons were stronger. The doctor told her, "You can recover from your injury after a few days of rest." To be honest, this is really incredible. Did you do any special treatment for the wound? Elsa thought about the mysterious person, but she said, "I didn't do anything special." The doctor sighed, "That's amazing. Having said that, the doctor said again, "By the way, I have notified the police and they will come soon. You can tell them about the attack." Elsa nodded gently. The police came quickly. It was the senior executives of the Emgrand Group who took a serious injury. Among the police officers who came, someone knew the Wilson family and knew she was a guest of the Wilson family, so they notified the family as well.